Right then. So broadcasting from my house, as I said earlier, I've tidied up the bit that you can see. We'll see how we get on for the light, because obviously it gets darker sooner, so I might have to put the light on behind me. I'd rather not, because otherwise it'll mess everything up, but hopefully you'll be able to see me. So all the exercises today are going to be sat down. I'm going to be using my coffee table to sit down on, because I don't have a chair at the moment, not a suitable chair anyway. You'll also need your resistance band. I'm going to do mostly upper body exercises. I am going to throw in a little bit of seated legs, not too much, because I know one or two of you are just struggling at the moment with a couple of little injuries. And also we've done quite a lot of leg exercises in recent sessions. So this is a way of just sort of evening things up a little bit. All right. And as I've already mentioned, I've got some weird pants on today. Right. Hang on a minute. Oh, I might have to rethink the light. Hang on a minute. Let me put this light on. Right, we'll see. Oh God, amateur hour. Sorry. Amateur hour. Right, we'll see how we get on about the light. Maybe right, so hopefully you can see my legs. Right, so let's do a little bit of muscle memory. Let's do a little bit about our posture. So just moving that fleshy bit of your bum just out of the way. We've got both feet flat on the floor. We're sitting on those bony bits, and we're just going to lift. So remember, you're trying to think from the base of your spine, moving up and just extending up. Nice and tall, sitting up nice and tall. That piece of string is pulling you up just to try and create some space in between your vertebrae. Lifting your shoulders up, rolling your shoulders back, and then just letting them drop. And you're just thinking about that, how that feels, how this position feels, how balanced you are. Do you feel like you're just leaning forward slightly, or perhaps leaning back slightly? And then you can slump again. So again, let's just get that ingrained into our minds, because as I said earlier, the session is going to be predominantly sat down today. Onto your sit bones, lengthening, so extending upwards, that piece of string, pulling you up towards your ceiling, nice and tall. Perhaps you're looking down the end of your nose ever so slightly, lifting our shoulders up, rolling our shoulders back, then letting our shoulders drop. Just holding that position just for a moment, thinking how that feels. How does your back feel today? How are your hips feeling today? How's your neck feeling today? Now that you can relax. Right then, let's get our heart rate going. So marching on the spot for me. As always, let me move that out of the way. I'm just going to be like rotating around in various positions so that you can see me from different angles. Hopefully the light will hold. Certainly for the next hour or so. So just marching on the spot, nice and light on your toes, moving those elbows backwards and forwards. There we go. So trying to still sit up nice and tall. You don't want to just collapse in the middle. So nice and tall, and bobbing them feet up and down. You've probably done quite a lot of moving around already today, so we might not have to spend so long on our warm-up. But you know how you're feeling today. We're going to stretch out those arms to the front, so reaching forwards, nice and easy. And then slowly just bringing that heart rate up, getting that blood pumping through the veins, around the body, getting to those extremities. Not a very pleasant day today, is it? Fabulous. And then back to just normal marching. Are you managing opposite arm and leg today? Are those brain cells engaged? Let's see how your shoulders are doing as we stretch up, stretching up. So reaching up with those fingertips up towards the ceiling, trying to get as much range of movement through the shoulder joints as you can. And then reaching forwards. Still nice and light on those toes, hopefully. And then reaching up again. And reaching forwards. And reaching up. And reaching forwards. And back to normal marching. Again, just have a little think. Are you managing opposite arm and leg? You'll need to know that opposite arm and leg, because we're going to extend forwards and backwards. So extend with your heel first of all. So your heels are just dabbing down. And now you're managing opposite arm and leg. So nice swing of the arms. Hopefully you've got some room around you. If you haven't, if you're a little bit impeded by whatever furniture you've got, I completely understand. So if you need to just modify a movement, perhaps you're not able to step out quite as far, perhaps you're not able to swing your arms quite as much, obviously just, you know, adjust that movement however it suits you. So keeping those legs going forwards and backwards, let's do a little bit more of a reach forwards now. So more of a twist going through the upper body. If you are managing that opposite arm and leg, then you're working your lower back, you're working through the tummy, you're working through your rib cage, through those core muscles. So there's quite a lot of engagement going on here. And you're all looking quite fabulous, if you don't mind me saying so. Okay, so keep the movement that you're doing, but I want you to reach with your toes. So try and extend your toes out to the front. So you get more of a stretch through the top of the foot and through the front of the ankle. We're going to go back to heels. We're going to go back to toes. Helps if you've got a slidey floor, because you can just slide your foot forwards and backwards. Back to heels. Marvellous. Back to normal marching. So we're going to slow it down, but we're going to lift our knees up higher. Again, just trying to manage that opposite arm and leg. Pick up that knee as high as you can. Just try and use those hip muscles. Give it a good old crunch when you're lifting up. And back to normal marching. Staying nice and light on those toes. Sitting up nice and tall. As we do our toe taps side to side now. Get your legs going. Then you can bring your arms into those curls. Make sure your knees are also moving out to the side so you get some movement through the hip joint. You're not just doing this, keeping your knees together, just moving those toes out. That's not good for your knee joints. So nice and light on those toes. Keeping those feet doing what they're doing. This time your arms are going to push away. So nice big movement if you can manage it. Forwards and backwards. So really stretching out. Oh, that's not easy to do when you're turning. Really stretching out to the front, really pulling back with your hands to go forwards and back. Having to engage your brains as well. Legs going in one direction, arms going in another. Stretching up. Feet still going side to side. Pushing away. Reaching up. Pushing away. Reaching up. And pushing away. Hopefully starting to feel a little bit warmer, a little bit more out of breath. We're going to go back to curls. And you're thinking, oh, I go for that. I go for that. Let's do some funky chickens. So no higher than your own shoulders. Stepping out and doing that little funky chicken dance. Hopefully the neighbours can't see what you're doing. We're going to go back to curls. Okay, here we go. We're going to reach up. We're going to push away. We're going to do a funky chicken. And we're going to do some curls. All right, so 3 of each. Here we go again. Up for 3. Push away for 3. 3 chickens. 3 curls. We're going to do that one more time. We're going to reach up for 3. Push away for 3. 3 chickens. 3 curls. Smashing back to normal marching. Whew. So keep those legs moving. Hands up. Just give your hands a shake. Keep those feet bobbing up and down though. Nice loose wrists. And twisting again. And then fingers in and out. Back to marching. Ooh, ooh, let me get back on my TikToks. There we go. All right, we're going to slow it down. We're just going to bob our heels up and down. Slowing that movement with the arms. And relax. Relax there. Deep breath if you need to have a deep breath. Slurp a juice. You need to have a slurp of juice. Sit up nice and tall. Shrugs up and down. it. Just nice and loose with those shoulders. Just lifting them up as high as you can, and then just letting them drop. Rolling those shoulders backwards. It's a lovely big movement backwards. Smashing, good, okay, I'm relaxed there. So sitting up nice and tall now. One arm on top of the other, nice straight backs. And we're going to rotate from one side to the other. And as always, when we do these twists, your bum stays still, but you're trying to get the movement coming through the tummy and through the rib cage. You might also feel it through the lower back. Just nice and smooth. And relax there back to the center. Give your shoulders a little bit of a shake. We're going to pick up our imaginary football. We're going to bring it overhead. And we're going to start throwing that ball nice and vigorously if you can, with a little bit of vim and vigor and zip. Just to get through the elbows and through the backs of the arms. And then we're going to do 3 big ones. So wait for it, wait for it. I want you to imagine you're really throwing that ball as hard as you can at me. Here we go. Number 1. Number 2. And last one, give it some oomph. Fabulous. Relax there, give those shoulders a bit of a shake. Onto the legs. Don't mind which leg. Just lifting up that foot just a couple of inches. Just a little bit of a swing backwards and forwards. Use those thigh muscles. Stimulating that fluid in your knee joint. Okay, just the foot now, up and down. Good, you can see me. You can see my lower leg, a right treat, can't you? Okay, and then side to side, like a windscreen wiper. Let me come around here. So we're just trying to move from the ankle. We're not moving from the hip, moving the whole leg from side to side. We just want to try and move from the ankle. It's a little bit harder, I think. And then a circle in one direction with your ankle. And then a circle back round in the other direction. Tip top, relax there. Your other leg for me, please. Forwards and backwards. Lovely job. And then just the ankle, up and down. And then side to side. And then a circle in one direction. And a circle in the other direction. And relax there. Just a little bit with the hips. Feet together, knees together. Sit up nice and tall. We don't want to slump. We want to sit up nice and tall. Hey, legs, don't mind which. We're going to come up, out, down, and in. The other leg. Up, out, down, and in. So we're going to alternate. Up, out, down, in. Other leg. Up, out, down, in. And again. Up, out, down, in. One more on this side. Up, out, down, and in. We're going to go in the other direction. And again, alternating each side. So we're going to slide, lift, in and down. Slide, lift, in, down. Other leg, slide, lift, in, down. Other leg, slide, lift, in, down. One more on each side. Slide, lift, in and down. And the other leg, slide, lift, in and down. All right, relax there. Last little bit. I'm just going to get that heart rate back up. All right, let's do some boxing. So hands up, make fists, mean faces. So we're going to be punching, we're going to do straight punches forwards and backwards until I tell you otherwise. Ready? Go. Punching, nice and quick. Want to get that heart rate up. Keep it going, come on, keep it going. Keep it going, come on. I want you to slow it down, I want you to slow it down. I want you to slow it down. I want you to start speeding it back up. Speeding it back up. Those straight punches. Keep going. Come on. A little bit faster. A little bit faster. Come on. Faster. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Keep it going there. Come on. Keep that speed. Slow it down. Slow it down. Slow it down. Don't stop completely. Don't stop completely. And then we're going to start speeding it up again. So a little bit quicker. Little bit quicker, little bit quicker. Come on, let's go for it now. This is going to be our last sprint. Come on, come on, as quick as you can. Keep it going. Last little bit, and then slowing it down again. Slowing it down. Slowing it down. Relax. Give your shoulders a little bit of a shake. Give your hands a little bit of a shake if you want to. Everyone all right? You haven't punched your cameras out or anything like that? No? Hopefully that's got your heart rate going. Certainly uses a lot of muscles. Gets your breathing rate going. Just going to let you have a second or two. Pick up your band if you've got your band handy. I'll just give you a moment to sort your bands out. So, when we're doing the exercises, it doesn't matter which exercise we're doing. Obviously, if something hurts or if you're not happy doing something, you don't have to do it. Or if you need to modify it for whatever reason, as I say, because of furniture or your shoulder's not so good today, so you don't want to damage this shoulder anymore, but you're quite happy doing the other shoulder, then I'm going to leave it up to you. All right. So the first exercise we're going to do is shrugs. So remember, when we shrug, we do this kind of movement where we lift our shoulders up towards our ears. So I'm going to give you two options. You can either do the easier version, where you keep your band as a big long length. The harder version is where you fold your band in half. Now, I know for some people this is tricky, doing it this way, and in the class, I will be able to help you put both feet onto that really short band. So if you can't manage to get your leg over for half and half, and you want to do this version where you can create a nice big loop and it's easier to get both feet onto your band, please do. I'm going to leave it up to you. I'm not in the room with you today, obviously. If you're doing the version of shrugs where your band is long, you'll need to walk your hands down the band as far as you can, because what you want is as much tension as you can create on your band when you sit up. All right? If you've gone for the folded in half version, obviously there's loads of tension on the band already. Whichever version you're doing, I want you to try and sit up as tall as you can. Your arms are long, so we've not got a bend in our arms here. Our arms are long. We're nice and tall, so we're going to have the movement from our shoulders, and it's the shoulders that are doing the lifting. It's not your hands or your elbows. Your shoulders are doing the lifting up towards your earlobes and then lowering it back down. So remember, we're not pulling. We're not doing the row. That's a different exercise. That's coming up later. We're lifting from the shoulders up, and then we're nice and controlled dropping it down. So whichever version you're doing, it's the same body position. It's the same movement with the shoulders. The only thing that's different is how much tension you're applying on your band. So if you need to walk your hands further down the band to apply more tension, then please do. Maintain that posture though, so we're not slouching this way. We want to sit up nice and tall. Just bring our shoulders back slightly before we lift them up. So our shoulders aren't hunched forward as a start position. We want our starting position for our shoulders to be back and then lift. So just nice and controlled. So this is strengthening those muscles at the very top of the neck, very top of the shoulders and the base of the neck. So if you do have any issues with your neck, this is a good exercise for you. It's also good for your posture, because it keeps those muscles at the top nice and taut, nice and strong. Marvellous. So you've all done about 39 of those, so relax there. Right, one hand, I don't mind which hand, I want you to let go. If you let go of both hands, then you've got to bend down and pick up your band. So that's the easier way of retrieving your band. What we're doing next. Right, okay, so take your band. I want everyone to unfold your band so it's a nice long length, and then just lay it across your lap. So for the next one, you just need to make sure you've got space either side. So even though I've got obstacles next to me, I'm okay, because I'm going to be raising my arms about the same height as my own shoulders. I'm not down here, for example, otherwise I'd be affected by the couch here. So we're going to do the wide arm pull apart. So the wide arm pull apart, our start position, our hands are wider and our arms are straight. And throughout the whole movement, the arms remain straight. So we're not bending, we're not doing this movement, keeping our arms straight. So with your palms down, and your hands about 2 foot apart. Arms out to the front, so your arms are straight. You sat up nice and tall, and then you're going to pull that band apart. You might be able to bring that band in towards your chest. Don't worry if you can't. And then nice and controlled back in. So there's a couple of options here for you. If you're stopping, so when you pull apart, if you're stopping because you can't get any further back than say this position here, just move your hands a little bit further apart to give you a little bit more slack in the middle, allowing you to come further back and then back in. So as you pull apart, we just squeeze those shoulder blades together and then back in. If I just do this from side on, so I'm pulling apart and I'm squeezing my shoulder blades, and then I'm allowing the band to come back to the front in a nice controlled movement. Pulling apart and back in. So depending on what sort of band you're using, your hands actually might be quite close together. You might have a slightly looser band than I've got, so you might have your hands close together but still be able to bring your hands quite far apart. Okay, so we're just going to do one more, because again, I bet you've done plenty of those. I bet your shoulders are starting to talk to you right now. So bring your arms down and give your shoulders a shake. We all right? Yeah, so the shoulders are going to get a little bit more of a workout in a moment. Just for next though, excuse me, we're going to do the seated row. So I want you to take your band, take the ends of your band, you've created your loop, so we're going for a long loop this time, we're not folding it in half. Drop the middle of the loop down, and then you're going to put both feet onto your band. Your legs are out slightly, and if I just spin myself around, your legs are out slightly and your toes are up. Don't put your toes flat on the floor, otherwise the band will slip off the bottom of your feet. So you want your heels down but your toes up. We're sitting up nice and tall. Our start position, our hands are somewhere near our knees, and then we're going to pull, elbows go backwards, hands come towards your hips, squeezing those shoulder blades together, and then your hands are going to come forwards. So do one or two, assess how you're feeling, assess how your back is feeling. If you do want to make this a little bit more challenging, it's entirely up to you. You can move your hands further down your band, creating more tension on your band, making those upper back muscles work slightly harder. So pull and squeeze. And then just one nice and controlled. We're not rushing. Don't have to do a million of these. I'd rather see quality, not quantity. So just a little check now. How's your posture doing? Are you making the effort the same on both your left and right sides? Are you being symmetrical? Are your hands moving at the same speed? Are they able to come back the same distance? Fabulous. Just relax there. Just give yourself a little bit of a shake. We're going to do some more. Again, adjust the band if you want to. Adjust the band. Just inch your fingers down the band if you want to. So I'm going to mention, and I've mentioned it in the past, but don't worry if you're not able to see properly over the video camera what I'm actually going to do. But you might remember in the past, I've spoken about this twisting movement. So when you pull, when your arms are extended at the start position, your fist is palms down. But then when you pull, you rotate so that your fists are facing each other. So your fists are moving 90 degrees. So they start off palms down, and then as you pull, they twist and they face each other. And then when you extend, they rotate back to that start position, palms down. If that makes sense to you, and you want to give it a go, then give it a go. If you think, oh, listen, I can't see what you're doing there, don't worry about it, all right? There will be a day when we're all back together in the same room, and they'll be able to come round and show you exactly what I mean if you're not quite getting it over the camera. So all we're doing, if you are able to do this rotation with your fists, it's just adding a little bit more. It's only a couple of extra percentage efforts through those muscles, through the back, getting that rotation, getting a good squeeze. All right, one more for me. And relax there. Okay, so just take time, step out of your band. We're all right, what we're doing now? Ooh, narrow pull apart. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to take your band and I want you to fold it in half and then just lay it back down on your lap. So some of the more eagle-eyed amongst you will realise that these first 1, 2, 3, 4 exercises are predominantly to do with your back. All right, so this is the 4th of 4 back exercises. So you've got your band folded in half, it's laid across your lap. We're going to turn our palms so that they're pointing uppermost, and we're going to scoop our band, and this time your hands are about 10 to 12 inches apart. So this is a two-parter. Part 1 is where we do the pull apart, and then part 2 is where we add the pull in. So the pull apart first of all, again, let me just turn side on so you can see. So again, just a little check of your posture. You've not slumped, so you've not fallen back on your chair. You're sitting up nice and tall. Our arms are out slightly, but you can see I've still got a little bit of a bend in my elbows. My palms are pointing upwards. I'm going to pull that band apart and then back in. So I'm pulling apart, it's only a few inches, and back in. Pulling apart and back in. So I just want nice controlled movements. And again, that little check, that little internal check, are you symmetrical? Are you able to do equal effort in your left and right sides? Is your posture still top notch? Are your feet still flat on the floor? Or have you kind of crouched and gone into this sort of position? Pull it apart and then relax. One more for me, pull apart and then relax. And just give your shoulders a bit of a shake. So part 2 of that exercise, where we draw the band in towards our tummy, which means our elbows are going behind us. So lots to think about with this one. The breath, getting in towards your tummy, squeezing your shoulder blades. All right, so let's do it together. So arms out, sit up nice and tall, pull apart, keep the tension on your band as you draw that band right in towards your tummy and squeeze your shoulder blades together. And don't hold your breath, and then relax. Arms out, pull apart and pull in, squeeze and hold. Arms out, pull apart and pull in, squeeze and relax. Arms out, pull apart and in, squeeze those shoulder blades and relax. We're going to do 2 more. Arms out, pull apart and in, really squeeze those shoulder blades together, relax. Little check, is your posture still good for this last one? Arms out, pull apart and pull in, squeeze those shoulder blades and relax. Just give your shoulders a bit of a shake. Everyone all right? Yeah? Good. Right, so a little bit of an interlude for our upper body. I'm going to do 2 seated leg exercises. Only 2 today, you'll be pleased to know. I'm going to do hips and thighs and bum. So hips, first of all. I want you to take your band, make it nice and long. I'm just going to flatten mine out. We're going to do the hip rotations. I know it's not the most challenging hip exercise in our repertoire, but do you know what? While we're sat down, just to keep those hips ticking over, we can do it. Oh, do you know what? That's going to take me ages. So, feet together, knees together. I'm going to do the easier of the 2 setups because I'm not in the room with you. Band is going to go across the top of your thighs. Lift your heels up, and then you can reach underneath, cross the ends, nice and tight, and then bring the ends up towards the top, and then you can drop your heels back down. All right? We're sitting up nice and tall. Thinking of our postures. So this is the one where we push our knees apart. And then nice and controlled back in. Pushing apart and back in. So I know this is not as challenging as some of the standing up versions of hip exercises we can do. But do you know what? I want you to think about your posture. I want you to think about, are you able to do equal effort in your left and right sides? So if you have had a hip injury, then actually this is a really good exercise for you. If you're not able to do it because you've got a hip injury, no, you don't need to do it. But if it's manageable, then you know what? Go for it. Okay, just one more for me. And then relax. Okay, so let's make it a little bit harder. Let's walk our feet out. So our feet are about 12 inches apart. Yes, look down and check. Every time. I can just see these heads sort of like bow over. All right, so keeping those feet flat on the ground. Your knees are together. You're still sitting up nice and tall, like we spoke about right at the very start, where we're feeling lifted and we're feeling that piece of string drawing us up. We're going to push our knees apart. There's more tension on your band now. Nice and controlled back in. So push those knees apart. Nice and controlled back in. Okay, we're going to push apart and then hold that position. So don't let this flimsy rubber band defeat you. And if you're holding this position now, you might be feeling that effort certainly through the side of the hip. You might also be feeling it in your bum. You might be feeling it in your lower back. You are actually using a little bit of your core muscles as well. I want you to relax. All right, and again, push it out. Hold that position. Thinking about your posture. Thinking about how your left and your right sides are feeling. And relax. And push apart. No rest for the wicked. Okay, a leg, don't mind which. Lift the foot a couple of inches off the ground. Hold that position. Now keep pushing against the band. Don't let your knees come in. And then lower back down. The other leg, lift off the ground just a couple of inches. Don't let those knees come together. And lower back down. Hold that position. And relax. And walk your feet back in. Let go of your band. And then lift that band from your lap. All right, everyone okay? Super job. All right, so I am going to do the leg press as well. I'm not going to spend ages on it. I just wanted to do a little bit of leg exercises, basically just to give your upper body a bit of a breather. Take the ends of your band, create a loop. I don't mind which leg you want to start off with. I want you to pop your foot into your band. So try and put the band around the ball of your foot rather than around your heel or around your toes. It's more likely for your band to slip off there. So the leg press. This is the one where the band helps us. So what I want you to do is I want you to hold your band further down here. So you're not holding the ends of your band. So there's a bit of tension on there. We're going to bend our knee and we're going to try and bring our knee up towards our chest. The band helps. The band acts like a cradle. And then push against that band. And then nice high knee. And extending. You're pushing against that band. So if you're not able to do some of the squats that we were doing last week, then this is a good alternative. You get more range of movement doing it this way because you're able to lift that knee up really high. You wouldn't be able to do this kind of range of movement if you were stood up. Do try though, when you're doing this movement, this leg press, to make the knee go in a straight line. So you don't want the knee waving around. You don't want it coming out to the side. You want that piston-like movement. So this is strengthening those thigh muscles. You're increasing the range of movement through your hip. It's a little bit of work with your bum as well. One more for me. And relax there. Don't let go of your band. All you to do is hook your other foot into your band and then take your tied leg out. Got it? Nice easy way of just switching legs without faffing around with your bands. So again, you've got some tension on your band. Your foot's off the ground ever so slightly. The band is around the ball of your foot. And then you're lifting up that knee as high as you can. Let the band help. And then push against the band. Nice high knee. Push down. So just a nice smooth movement. That piston-like movement. Your knee travelling in a straight line. Lovely job. If you need to add a little bit of tension, you just shimmy your hands a little bit further down your band. It's entirely up to you. I'm just after control here. Marvellous. We're just going to do one more. Lovely job. And relax there. So lower your foot down towards the ground. Give yourself some slack on your band. And then you can step out your band. Everyone all right? Good. Right, next up. Right, so back onto our arm exercises now. So I'm going to go straight onto the biceps. So we're going to do a bicep curl. So holding the ends of your band, both feet into your band. This time both feet are flat on the floor. We're going to walk our hands down the band. So we're creating a little bit of tension. We're going to tuck our elbows in, and we're sitting up nice and tall. Your fists are on your lap. So the bicep curl, this is the one where we keep our elbows close into our body. Let me spin around. Close into our body, and our fist comes up towards our shoulder, and then we lower back down. And then we're going to do the other side. So up towards your shoulder and back down. So we're just going to alternate those hands, coming up to the front and back down. So remember, keeping those elbows tucked in. We're not letting our elbows swing round, doing this kind of thing in an effort to get that movement, to get that fist. We're not doing this. None of that. Those elbows stay close in. Just want to use those bicep muscles, that muscle on the front of your arm. Nice and controlled. If you need to adjust your band either to make it easier or harder, then please do. These are all my puppets doing this particular exercise. All right, relax there. Both arms at the same time now. We're going to lift up and we're going to slowly lower. Slowly lower. So try and stick with me on this one. So we're going to lift up and then slowly lower. Stick with me if you can. There we go. All the way up. And then nice and controlled. Keep those elbows tucked in. A little check of your postures. Back up. You're still sitting tall. Nice and slowly though, as you descend on those arms. Back up. And I bet those muscles are starting to just remind you that they're working. Nice and slowly down. I'm going to do 2 more. Here we go. Up. And slowly down. And last one. Here we go. Up. And slowly down. Nice and slow. Nice and slow. And relax there. Give those arms a bit of a shake. Not too bad, eh? Not too bad. Oh, we've got a treat coming up next. How are we doing for time, by the way? Crikey, is that time? Blimey, I've got so much to get through. Okay, so we're going to do front raises. Yeah, we'll do front raises. So I want you to keep the band underneath both feet. Just adjust your hands so you're holding the ends of your band. And then we're going to put our hands onto our knees so our arms are straight. So I know there's a little bit of flappiness there on your band. That's all good. Don't worry about that. Sit up nice and tall. So keeping your arms straight and keeping the back of your hand uppermost at all times. You're going to lift an arm up, level with your own shoulder, and then lower it back down. So coming up, and then back down. So again, let me spin around. So keeping those arms straight, and back down. And then the other side. So once you've done 1 or 2 on each side, if you feel like you want a little bit more of a challenge, by all means, again, just shuffle your hands further down your band. You might only need a couple of inches just to add that additional tension onto your band, to make those muscles now on your shoulder, the front of your shoulder specifically, you make those muscles work a little bit harder. It's quite appropriate with Halloween coming up. We're going to pretend that we're zombies. Right, you ready? So just relax there. This time, both arms at the same time. Reach up. Hold that position. And lower. Just like a zombie. Oh, excuse me, just a minute. Here we go again. Lifting up. Hold that position. Think of your posture. Are you strong in your tummy as well? And lower. And back up. Don't hold your breath. And lower. We're going to do 2 more. Here we go. Lift it up. And lower. Last one. Think of your posture. Be strong through your torso. Hold that position. And lower. Might have to add some little variations on that one. You know, do this kind of thing, not like we've done with some of the other exercises. Right. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not going to do that today. I do want to squeeze in a shoulder press though, but what I want you to do is I just want you to step your feet forwards, so your band now will come sort of like underneath your thighs. So options here, you can either keep the band under your thighs, or if you want to, depending on what sort of chair you sat on, you can just sit up so the band goes underneath your bum. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. Doesn't really matter. Whatever you're comfortable with, depending on what position you're in. So shoulder press. So slightly more challenging doing it this way. When we do it just a single arm, when it's underneath one foot, we've got loads of resistance band to play with, loads of slack on the band, so it becomes a little bit easier. Doing it this way, less so. Oh God, tickling my throat. Okay, so holding the end of your band to start off with, your fists are somewhere near the side of your face, next to your cheeks or next to your jawbone. You're sat up nice and tall. Don't hold your breath. One arm at a time, and I don't mind how high you're able to lift your fist, but one arm at a time, you're going to move vertically upwards, and then nice and controlled vertically back. So I'm going to use my piston analogy, where that fist, that arm is moving in a perfectly straight direction toward your ceiling and back down as you alternate, just nice and steady. So we're trying to avoid coming out to the front or coming out to the side. We want this vertical movement. So depending on your shoulders, this might be your range of movement today. That's absolutely fine because you're still moving vertically up and down. If you're able to get a little bit further, as I say, as long as you're going vertically, you might go all the way up on one side, but not so much on the other side. All right, so I'm just going to let you modify it as you're able, as you see fit. Okay, I want you to do one more on each side for me, please. When you've done your one more on each side, bring your arms down. Just give your shoulders a little bit of a shake. All right? So again, just sitting up nice and tall, back to your start positions with your fist next to your side of your face. This time, both arms at the same time. You're going to lift, hold that position. Now, you're going to really need to use those muscles through the torso, through your back, through your chest, and through your tummy. Nice and slowly come back down. And again, lift it up. Straight up as high as you can. Hold that position though. And then nice and steady back down. We're just going to do one more. Make this one your best one today. Here we go. Here we go. Stretching up. Come on. Be strong. Think of your posture. And then nice and steady bringing it back down. That's not an easy one, I know. So please give your shoulders a bit of a shake. Whew, I think we're all right. So I'm going to squeeze in. Right. I've got 3 left to do. Shall I be kind? All right, let's be kind. Because you worked quite hard today. We're going to do some with our grip. It was either going to be some abs or some triceps. But we'll do grip because we've not done grip strength for a little while. So I want you to take your band, fold it in half, fold it in half, fold it in half. So as always, we're just looking for kind of like an irregular sausage. Does not have to be perfect. So we're going to do just a couple of variations to keep our grip nice and strong. The first one, your band is up and down, it's vertical. One fist on top of the other, like you're doing 1 potato, 2 potato. All right? Arms out to the front. I want you to squeeze, twist. So bringing that band in towards your chest. As you extend forward, you can just ease that grip. So we squeeze, twist, and bring it in. And then release. Squeeze and twist. So like we're unscrewing the top off a drinks bottle. Squeeze and twist. So those fists are maintaining that vertical position, the 1 potato 2 position. Squeeze and twist. Okay, so just relax there. Tricky bit now. Bottom hand becomes your top hand becomes your bottom hand. It's amazing how that stumps some people. Same again though, and it'll feel odd. Squeeze and twist and relax. Squeeze and twist. Relax. Squeeze and twist. So you should be feeling now your hands, your wrists and your forearms start to remind you that they are there, that they're working quite hard at the moment. All right, one more for me. Squeeze and twist and relax. We're going to go on to the horizontal. So make your sausage horizontal. And then fist next to fist. So your thumbs should be next to each other. Your index fingers should be next to each other. So this is the one that's a bit like wringing out a cloth, where we squeeze and twist, and then relax, squeeze and twist in the other direction. So it's that wringing out of a cloth movement, squeezing and twisting. Beautiful, lovely. Okay, so just relax there, arms out to the front. Sit up nice and tall. With all your strength, pull that band apart. Oh, come on, have you all gone into freeze frame? Pull that band apart. Come on. Relax. Give those shoulders a shake. Arms out. Sit up tall. Pull that band apart. Come on. Come on, at least fake it. Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. Relax. Give your arms a shake. Take your band and just put it out of the way. Now put it on the floor, put it on the chair next to you, on the sideboard, whatever it is. Just put it out of the way. And then just give your hands a shake. So shaking out that tension, you've been gripping that band a heck of a lot today. You got your money's worth out of it. Fingers in and out. And then twisting like egg whisks. And then fingers in and out. And then up and down, nice and loose. And relax. That's the hard work done. You've got out of abs again this week. I'll have to do them first up next time. My own fault. Disappointed in myself. I know you're all very eager to do some core exercises. Next time, let's do some stretches. One hand in front of the other. Let me just turn side on. And then push those hands out to the front to stretch through the upper back. Beautiful. And relax. But we're going to do that again. So pushing away. And relax. And just one more time for me. Pushing away. And relax there. Onto our chest. So we're going to put our hands on the small of your back, or you can hold onto your furniture if you want to. We're sitting up tall. We're going to pull back first of all, and then the chest will follow. And relax. So shoulders back, chest out. So stretching through those collarbones, through your breastbone, through the chest. And relax. One more time, shoulders back, and then let the chest follow. And relax there. Not too shabby. Onto our shoulders, one arm across the front of your body, holding onto your elbow, and then just gently pulling in on that elbow, stretching through the back of the shoulder. And then this same arm that you're stretching right now, I want you to reach around the back of your head. You might get the hand through the back of the neck or even between your shoulder blades. You can push that elbow up towards the ceiling. If you do have the flexibility, you can reach right over the top to grab that elbow and pull. So again, some options for you there. And relax. Do that little sequence on the other side. So let's do the back of the shoulder first of all. Getting that stretch right through the back there. And then for the tricep, that hand around the back of your head, neck, shoulder blades. Help it, give it some assistance. If you want to, you can go right across the top and pull that way. And gently coming out of there. So we're going to do a little twist. One hand onto your opposite knee, your other hand onto the side of your chair. Sit up tall, then you're pulling yourself around to whichever side you are pulling on the knee of. So if you're pulling on your left knee, you turn to the left. So again, little posture check. Are you still sat up nice and tall? Are you twisting from the lower back and tummy? And then we're going to come back through to the centre. Then the other side. So your other hand onto your opposite knee, holding onto your chair. Lengthen your spine and then rotate around. Oh, that feels good actually on that side. Sometimes you don't realise if you have a little bit of stiffness, you don't realise it's there until you do the particular stretch and you think, And then slowly coming back through to the centre. So some leg stretches. Sitting on the edge of your chair does make it easier. Extend a leg out. And then point your toes up towards the ceiling. And unless you've got a leg injury, do try and enjoy the stretch. If you've got a leg injury, not so much. Point those toes forwards, stretching through your shin and through the front of the ankle. And then toes back up towards the ceiling. Keeping that leg nice and straight so you can relax that tension on your foot. You can put both hands onto your bent leg, sit up nice and tall, and try and lean from your weight, try and lean from your hips forwards towards that straight leg until you start to feel a stretch running through the back of the thigh, back of the knee. You might even feel it through the bum. And do take a breath out if you want a little bit of an extra stretch. And if you want an even deeper stretch, you can point your toes up towards the ceiling, and I'll leave it up to you which option you want to go with. And then gently pushing yourself back up to your seated position. Onto the other leg, so again extending your other leg out, pointing those toes up towards the ceiling. I am going to overrun by a few minutes, so I hope you don't mind. If you need to dash off for whatever reason, then please do. Point your toes forwards, and then toes back up towards the ceiling. And then relax that foot, hands onto your bent leg. Just lengthen your spine first of all, and then leaning forwards, getting the stretch through the hamstring. So breath out if you want to. Point your toes up towards the ceiling if you do really want to intensify that stretch. And then gently pushing back up towards your seated position. And relax there. So I'm going to do the lower back stretch, and I always do the warning for this. I wouldn't warn if it wasn't important. Remember, if you are worried about your lower back today, you don't want to do this stretch, that's absolutely fine. In any case, if you are going to do the stretch, please just take it nice and easy. There may be something there that you weren't aware of. Like I say, I just did a twist and I thought, oh, there's a little bit of stiffness there in my back. So please take it nice and steady. Both feet flat on the floor, both hands on your knees. We're going to sit up nice and tall. So take the weight, first of all, on your hands. Take the weight of your upper body on your hands, certainly in those early stages as you start to lean forward, so that you can assess how you're feeling. You might be surprised. You might think, oh, actually, I don't feel quite so good on my back today, for whatever reason. Otherwise, alternatively, you might feel pretty good. So once you get to a certain point, you might think, that's okay. If you do want that deeper stretch, please drop your hands down towards your ankles or your feet. That gravity pull on your arms, just to deepen that stretch. And then you're going to put your hands back on your knees, and then use your hands to push yourself back up towards your seated position. And as always, you just take a few seconds just to let your blood pressure equalise. Some shrugs up and down, nice and loose with those shoulders. And then roll your shoulders backwards. Lovely big smooth movement backwards. And we're just going to finish off with our usual neck stretches, not the fancy ones today. Sitting up nice and tall, and then turn your head and eyes round to look over your shoulder. As always, we're just trying to move the head. We're not moving any other part of our body. Coming back to the centre, and then turning to look over your other shoulder. And then coming back through to the centre. Tilting now. So try and keep your shoulders level as your head tilts across to one side. And then coming back up, tilting across to the other side. And back up. So again, it's just the head as we tilt forward now, dropping the chin towards the chest. To try and stretch through the back of the neck. And then slowly lifting up, looking up towards the ceiling. and coming back down. And finally, as always, nice and gently as we do those circles. Nice and easy. And then very gently back round in the other direction. And relax there. Everyone all right? Yeah? Give your hands a final shake. Give your legs a pat down. And then give yourself a round of applause for today. Everyone all right? Well done, everyone.